Welcome back, my Reds. Welcome back to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm Liberal 12th Man just as much as you are, and that's why we are here to celebrate possibly a run for the top five, and we'll discuss celebrate a win for on top of that, along with some discussions about players possibly returning. We're also going to get into a couple of different things, like Liverpool won the game, I know, 5-2. I didn't get I think we didn't get into match ratings and everything on Sunday, so I figured we would do that more today, and maybe even get down some breakdowns on some things going on with the club in general. There's been some rumors about some transfers, some players coming, some disgruntled players possibly with the club. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk more about first the 5-2 win. I mean, on paper, it was comfortable, it was convincing, it was clinical. But in reality, everyone knows that it was certainly a nervy game in the sense of it was scrappy, I guess you'd call it, sometimes unsettling, but it doesn't matter as long as you get the 3 points. That's all that really matters in the end. So now we sit just 3 points behind Villa in third, and Champions League hopes remain very much alive under Arne Slot. I believe actually we are moved up. Actually, we'll check on our actual on the actual placement of our team right now. So I think we're up to fourth place now, which is a pretty wild situation. But let me double check for you. So I don't like saying things that are actually technically incorrect. But I hope that everyone's doing well out there, and I hope that everyone is absolutely fantastic. Big up, big up. We won. We scored in the first half. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. That's a big thing. Scouts Adam in the house. Big up, big up. Um, Red Armchair supporter, what up to you as well? Big up to you. Yeah, we're in fifth place now. We're in fifth place. We are 3 points behind Villa, but what's crazy is that we Chelsea is now not looking at sixth place. We are in the 5 spot, and it goes Arsenal, City, United, Villa, and then us in fifth. So it's a weird place to be. Fifth place will be probably enough to get Champions League this season, but I still don't want to settle for fifth place. We are the defending champions, and we don't want to necessarily have a situation where we are barely holding on to Champions League. That's not the place to be. But all the same, we will have an honest conversation about a lot of this tonight. We have obviously some OGs and some. I'm certain there'll be hopefully some new additions to the conversation. I think we finally got. Well, StreamYard didn't do it, but I had to learn how to do it manually through X. So I went that direction. Third needs to be it. Yes, we cannot allow Pops. We cannot allow Manchester United to be in third place in this league. That is a travesty. Okay, that is certainly a travesty. They are not the third best team in this league by any means. We all know that it's different settings for a team that has to play one game a week. And considering that Manchester United are out of every competition there is, whether it's whether it's the League Cup, obviously, or even the FA Cup, they're out of all those competitions. They're not in Champions League this year, as they didn't qualify from last year. So yeah, yeah. At the beginning of the season, we were only talking about City, obviously, and that's the truth, obviously. But it is a wild situation. Look, I don't want to see Manchester United even get 1 ounce of a foot, one inch of a foothold on getting back into the conversation. And Arsenal, certainly. But let's be honest, the performance that we see from Liverpool now, maybe we have a chance of getting back into the running. I'll ask a real quick question, and it's not that far off topic. How many of you think that Villa will hold on to top 5, much less top 4? How many of you really think that they will hold on to top 4? Villa was my pick to make top 4 or top 5 last year. They are also my pick to return to do the same this year. But and considering and why I was saying that too, especially considering that they wouldn't have to deal with Champions League. They would only have to deal with conference or for Europa. Red Armchair Sports says he doesn't think they'll hold on to top 4. Pop says, so we can't finish below anybody else. Certainly not. It's a wild situation for Villa. Villa's been shocking the last, I'd say, 6-7 games lately. They've fallen on some really, really hard times. A loss against Wolves, a draw against Leeds, a loss against Newcastle. I think they had a loss against Brentford. Throwback even further, they had a loss against Everton. Those are all teams Villa should take care of if they're going to really consider going into the top 5 and staying there. But I was just wondering what you guys thought. We're not a Villa show, so I mean it's not like that. But we can talk about other things, besides Liverpool at times on this channel. So I was just wondering if we thought that Villa would get top 5 or not. It's gonna be a real struggle for them, though. Real struggle. I think they're definitely a better team than Manchester United, but I just think that Manchester United doesn't have the same constraints of being involved in multiple competitions. That is probably weighing down Villa's efforts to stay in. Scouse Adams said they will struggle, but will be close with Chelsea. Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting question on who gets top 5. Very interesting question. I know that top 6 and 7th place are probably going to equate to being to the Conference League and Europa, but it will be very interesting to see if who actually ends up getting into these placements, who actually gets into it. I mean, do you think that Everton or maybe even Bournemouth can climb their way up to getting into Europe? Do you think that let me repeat. Let me just eliminate the Bournemouth thing. Do you think Everton can get Europe? Not saying they get Champions League, people. No way. But what I am saying is, do you think Everton can squeak out maybe a Conference League, maybe even a Europa? That is a question. That is a real question. Top 5, dead or alive. I got you. Trudon, big up to you. Scouse Adams says next season will be interesting. Liverpool, United, City, Tottenham. If Spurs can hold on, by the way, Spurs could. I'll say it this way. Spurs, Forest, they're just fortunate that Burnley and Wolves are a part of this league. Because otherwise, Spurs and Forest would be relegated with the form that they both have. Let's see. Trudon says Everton 7th at best. Okay. All right. Everton's currently sit in 8th place, 3 points behind Brentford and 5 points behind Chelsea. Just wondering what you guys thought about those things. But it's going to be an interesting race for top 5. Interesting race for Europe in general. I thought for a lot of these teams, we might see a little bit of shakeup when it comes to the normal teams that we see normally competing for these rankings. But let's just get right into this. I might have a. I know that Alante is unavailable. He's at work, but he's possibly listening along at work. So shout out to him. And I think JK might be preoccupied, but maybe we see a return of Lee. Not return of the Mac, maybe return of the Lee. I'm not singing. I'm not singing the song. Maybe if he joins, I'll sing the lyric for him. Uh, um, but all right. But all the same, let's just get right into some of these topics. Let's just get right into basically what we saw on Saturday, and that was a 5-2 win. Usually, if you say 5-2, usually you would think that means dominance. But this game wasn't really about dominance. It was or even domination. This was about West Ham basically being bad at the moment. On and off flickering bad forms of bad, if not worse. And West Ham finished with more possession in this game. They finished with a higher XG in this game. They had the same number of big chances in this game as us. Yet they were the 5-2 losers in this game. And I think that should tell you a lot about this game. Liverpool are, I don't want to say Liverpool are looking like Arsenal, because that would be an insult, in my opinion. However, we are certainly starting to look very reliant upon our set pieces, long throw-ins, corner kicks, and the likes, even set pieces and direct kicks. So it is something, because on our set pieces, we relied obviously on Hugo, we relied on Virgil, we relied on Mac Allister. Our one-play creativity is limited. Some might say that's because of Florian Wirtz not being a part of the lineup. It is certainly concerning if a player like Florian Wirtz is the make or break in our ability to create. But the second half start may be a little concerning to some. It's become a pattern, certainly, with this team. But the slow starts are usually the case. This one, we got an early goal very early in the game. And the bigger question, or the bigger concern, or not even concern, but most like the bigger letdown was our defensive lapse. There was a momentum swing. Things shouldn't be. We should, if we're going to have control of a game, learn to either put a strangle lock on it and basically lock it down. And we've been better against oppositions. Let's just be real. We've been better in oppositions against opposition play. Shout out Bonkers in the house. Big up Bonkers. 2 Wolves games. I know we go. It's a question. You know what? I wonder if 2 Wolves games in 3 days. I wonder if Arnie tells the boys, let's get hotel rooms in Wolverhampton and then stay there, because I mean, why put on the extra wear and tear of moving about and going back and forth between Wolves and Liverpool? But we'll see what he decides to do. I don't know if it was convincing all the time, but it was a game that gets us 3 points. And ultimately, that's all that matters. It's certainly all that matters. Let's talk about some individuals. So I'm solo, so I'm just gonna rifle through my ratings section here, since I'm solo. And let's see, Liverpool to Wolves is only a 2-hour drive. Okay, all right. Big up, big up. It's always nice to sleep in your own bed before a game. Yep, you have a plus early kickoff against Galatasaray. Is everyone happy with the Galatasaray? Is everyone happy with Galatasaray? I prefer Galatasaray over Atletico Madrid, to be honest with you. I definitely prefer it. Out of the two selections that we could have gotten, I prefer going to Galatasaray than having to face against Atletico Madrid. Not that I'm scared of either teams. I'm just saying that I would prefer to go to get a little revenge in that for that 1-0 loss. That wasn't a one. It wasn't a 1-0. Shouldn't have been a 1-0 loss. Let's see. Excuse me. But over the years, how poor have we been at set pieces? Also, how many games have we lost due to set pieces? As long as we win, Adam doesn't care how we scored. Adam, we have a special segment later on in this episode. One that, since you're talking about set pieces, you might want to listen in on because it's a good one. I saw a very interesting piece by Sky Sports, and they opened up my eyes to some things, some perspectives that I've noticed myself, but they've certainly emphasized through their reporting. Early kickoff next season. I said that one. They will much rather win the Europa and get. They will much rather win the Europa and still get Champions League. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. I think you're talking about I think you're talking about Villa Pops, right? Let's see. Trudon can't stand Atletico. I think it's I just don't like Simeone. Villa. Okay, got you. Villa is what Pops is talking about. Oh, no worries. Let's see. Yeah, over both games, we will beat Galatasaray. Yep. How early are you talking? Too early in the morning. Not as early as I gotta wake up, I'm sure. Bonkers is fine with Galatasaray. Yep. Okay. I'm going to give you some quick ratings for these players yesterday. I think that it was a unique situation yesterday. For Ali, I gave him a 6. I thought he had a big save late, but was a mixed evening for him in that, he has some sloppy passing that nearly got us punished for doing so. I gave Joe Gomez a 6. Okay. I'm not going to get bullied into giving him anything higher by Nolante. No, I'm just joking. It was unique because I don't know if it's because he's just starting to get his legs back, or maybe he hasn't fully settled in from the injury. Looked a little uncomfortable out wide where we had him, but defensive duels weren't his specialty yesterday. Normally they are. It's kind of concerning, but it's all good. We got through the game. I was just happy to see him in the right back role rather than having a midfielder like a Dom or a Curtis in that role for us. I just thought that was a better fit. Kanate gave a 7 yesterday. Dominant first half. Unfortunately, had the lapse against Suchik for the Suchik goal. But I thought Kanate has been performing exceptionally as ever since the unfortunate loss of the family member. He has maybe reignited or revigorated his season, and whether it's a dedication to his father or the likes, it is certainly looking like he is showing an extra emphasis to performance. Virgil van Dijk, our captain, captain. Leadership, aerial dominance, obviously, are always the key factors or characteristics of our captain. Shout out Quasi Bold. Just making sure he hears me about the leadership shout. But but he was calm when it came to putting in his goal. Absolutely, a very well taken corner as well. Well taken goal for header for the corner for the goal. I gave him an 8. Um, I gave him a B. How about I give grades? Because I know that because some of them I gave letter grades. Milos Kirkes, I gave a D plus. He had good energy. He was overlapping. He was aggressive. End product, not that consistent, but all the same, I'm not really concerned about that at the moment because I think that there has been finally an acceptance, a settling in at left back for Milos Kirkes. In the midfield, we had there you go. One of my few sound effects for our players. But Gravy got the assist early. Looked dialed in very quickly. Got the assist to Ekitike. Had some high ceiling moments, I guess you could say, for him, and then he has some low composure moments as well. I think I know that we spoke on it a little bit after the game, the post match reaction. I think that some of you probably are gonna agree with what we have to say or what we had to say then and what I will say now. I think that Gravy could use a rest. Some type of rotation would be fantastic to see. Now, if that means we don't have a natural DM in the likes of this lineup that can normally play there, that's unfortunate. Again, it makes me so disappointed the fact that it makes me disappointed to see the Endo's not available, but also it makes me so disappointed to know that Bajcetic isn't available to be able to capitalize on some minutes. Maybe some might say this could have been his window of opportunity to try to get in as a rotation or a relief style player that brings at least brings relief to the minutes that the players have to put on the pitch. Then we go to Maca. So if you have gravy, you got to have some macaroni, right? So I don't know, maybe not, but mac and cheese or mac and gravy, whichever you like to reference it as. Maca. Let me say this. Maca A. I've never given up on you. I'm not saying that others have, but I am saying that others have. But all the same, some have been critical of him, and rightfully so. Some of them, some people just don't prefer his type of play and don't rate him as highly as others do. So that's all preference and opinion. But I would say that his goal was possibly the goal of the game. And what I mean, not as it was possibly the most well taken goal out of all of them. There's 5 to choose from, and his was, I think, the best. I gave Mac a B or an 8 for his performance yesterday. Going with our attack, I guess I'll just rip the Band-Aid off. Mohamed Salah, our Egyptian king. It has been a tough run for him. A very tough run. Big up, Dustin, by the way. I see your question. I'll be sure to come back to it. Right after I'm done the ratings, I'm going to come right to your question. But I would go as far as to say that this run is a difficult one for Salah. I am not saying that Salah has fallen off the cliff physically. I'm not going to say he's gone, his legs are gone, or he can't do this, he can't do that. I think that truthfully, it might be a mental thing. And by mental, I mean, it's a confidence thing. And I think that's just my perspective, not an ITK. I'm just saying my personal preference or personal opinion is he is he is dealing with a lack of confidence at times. And sometimes when you have a lack of confidence, it clouds your vision. It clouds things that came early and easy for you. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a panic, but he's certainly got a lot of pressure on his shoulders for things that naturally came easy. Now they're much more difficult for some reason, and he's got to find an answer for it. And and he just unfortunately is running up against some different things. Do I need a pause for something I said? I got you. So I gave Salah a 6. I gave Dami Szoboszlai a B. I gave Dami Szoboszlai B because I thought, having him in the midfield makes a difference. Him in the midfield is a different presence than the Florian Wirtz, but that difference is he's not playing right back. It's something that we want to see. We don't want to see him in that right back spot. Not that he can't play right back, more so that he's just more he's more of an asset to us in the midfield. He's one of our best players. He was my preseason pick to be MVP of the season. He's doing my pick very well, and I think that he really played well. He played decent yesterday, I should say. I'll go with Cody Gakpo next. I gave Cody Gakpo an 8. I thought he was clinical when we needed him to be clinical. For those people that don't recognize this, let me say this about Cody Gakpo so that my opinion is clear. I think Cody Gakpo is a good player for this club. I think he's a good addition to this club. Cody Gakpo might not be the preferred starter for this club, but I do think that there is a place for Cody Gakpo on this team, whether it's as a squad player, whether it's as a spot starter, whether it's as a a player playing out of position, or whether it's him playing at a more furnished position for him in the left wing. I think that Cody Gakpo, yes, scapegoat of the season. Yeah, I agree. I think that Cody is someone that people sleep on because he has not been giving us goals the way he normally does, but he has been putting in effort and certainly contributions in other ways. And I've definitely recognized it. Getting the goal looked like it was a big woosah for him, a big exhale of pressure that was lifted off his shoulders yesterday. So I gave him a B for his performance yesterday, or an 8. Last but not least, I gave Hugo Ekitike an A. So I thought he had a phenomenal game. I don't know if you guys saw this in the press conference, or not press, or like the interview, post-match interview. He was asked about the 2 goals and the likes, and he was like, "Oh, I should have scored more." And I was like, "My G, yeah, there you go, my G, Hugo, boss." He wasn't happy with the brace, and I liked hearing that he was hungry for more, and he was recognizing the fact that he should have done more, probably with the opportunities he had. And that's called the right mentality. Not settling on, oh, I got some numbers, so let me rave about that. Let's look at the fact that yes, there were opportunities missed, and to make the most of it. Dun dun dun. Yeah, there you go, Hugo Ekitike. I'll give a shout out for Jeremy Frimpong. I know that we've got to see some other subs in the game as well, but I guess Frimpong was one of the subs that we got to see a decent amount of playing time for. Let me see what was the minute he got subbed in on. I know we saw Rio get subbed in as well, like 1 minute before him. Frimpong and Rio got subbed on pretty much together, not 1 minute apart. I saw Neoni get subbed in as well. I gave Frimpong a C yesterday. Frimpong's going to be a very interesting. Tell me if you think otherwise in the chat, please. And if you're listening to this on replay, or if you're on X or something like that, or whatever, leave a message on Twitter for me or X for me, or simply come over to YouTube. Leave it in the comment section, and I'll certainly respond to it, or at least get to see your frame of thinking. But it's going to be interesting what we do with Frimpong. I personally think that Frimpong is a value player on this team. I think his pace creates more of a addition to our offense than sometimes people will openly admit. But I also know that Joey Gomez is a comparable right back, and it's going to be very interesting what we do. Do we maybe sit Mohamed Salah and give Frimpong a start against Wolves, for instance, and kind of rotate Salah back into that right wing role? Do we maybe sit Joe Gomez and play Frimpong as our right back? Excuse me. That is a big question, a very, very big question to answer. Something that I'm going to hopefully get an answer from you on, Owen, and I'm sure we will get one from Arnie this weekend, or actually tomorrow. So we'll see about that. Big up. One of our Reds Queens in the house, definitely. Tip the cap to one of our definitely royal members of our community, Jean Gray in the house. She says, glad to see we can't get a decent amount of goals. Glad to see we can, get a decent amount of goals. We have a goal deficit to make up before the end of the season. Do smash, the like button. I appreciate that, really do. I agree. That's why I wanted the clean sheet. A 5-0 win would have been very, very, very helpful in our golden differential push. Agree. 100% agree. All right. So I would say 5 big things that we learned from the game yesterday. Number 1 on my list. Number 1. I got to make graphics for this, I know. But number 1. Arnie Slot, coach, gaffer, please stop playing Szoboszlai at right back. It's not his game. It's not his role. It's not his position. I know that we can sometimes use the help for him filling in. But if we have any comparable position or player on the team, let them play and keep Szoboszlai in that midfield to be more of a threat, but also a real go-to when it comes to holding it down. Number 2. I think that Frimpong for this team is someone that we are going to slowly, as long as he can keep his fitness up, by the way, and get these injuries under control. It's weird that he's getting these injuries all of a sudden now. I don't know what it is. Maybe someone out there has a theory as to why. I understand that the Prem is a lot more physical, or a lot more demanding when it comes to your physicality and your fitness. But it is troubling that he's been on the mend a couple times this year through muscle injuries. But I'm hoping we can have that player be a part of this push, because I will tell you right now, he is trouble on that wing with his pace. Third thing I learned was that this Salah drought is real. 10 league games, no goals. Again, I think it's a confidence thing with Salah. I really think it's a confidence thing. I know we'd like to see him get an opportunity to reset do the Control Alt Delete and reset the the software, but we have to figure out this issue because Salah is someone that we're gonna need. We're gonna need, and I mean, like you look at it, the amount of goals that he has sacrificed this season in contribution is something. It could be a very big reason why we sit in the placement. Not saying that he's the only reason why. I'm saying it could be a contribute. It could be an actual segment of why we are there where we are. And I haven't forgotten Dustin, by the way. I will get to your question. And defensive composure has to be better. I thought we've played very well against some of these other teams, but we need to be better at keeping clean sheets against these teams at the bottom end of the table, period. And last but not least, set piece reliance. We are slowly but surely waking up to the fact that this league is a very, very call what it is. It's a very ugly setting when it comes to offense or open play football. And it has certainly become more of a set piece forum. So, but we have started to make the set piece one of our strengths, which is good. Because whatever, not saying that it's good in that we should make it our staple and our first component, but what I am saying is it's nice to have another tool in the toolbox or another weapon at our command when it comes to that. Let me bring in JK. Big up, JK. How are you?
Big up, bro. Everything good, yeah?
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Everything is excellent day.
Good to hear,
It
man.
is another hot one where I'm at. So I am going to get a little closer to open the door here and get a little closer to the to get some air here. It's getting hot in this room. All right, I'm back. But yes,
Big up, Red House.
other than being a little bit hot and everything else, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. Oh man, it's nearly. What did I say? How do you do it again? You said. I forget how what it is, how you do it. The little the thing. I'm still learning how to say you'll never walk alone in sign language, much less remember how to figure out Fahrenheit to Celsius. But it is a hot one. Let me see how hot it is Celsius. Let's see.
Better hot than cold, bro.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
It's like food. It's better hot than cold, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is 32 degrees Celsius here right now.
Okay.
33 degrees Celsius.
I
don't know. That's pretty hot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty warm, I would say. Warm. I'm not going to say hot because if you wait, it's summertime here is hot. This is nothing. So I'm not complaining. I shouldn't complain. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of things going on in this game, talking about some of the numbers behind it. Let's see. Yeah, I know it is. What is it right now? I know I do keep my my temperature down. It is what, 40. Oof. What is that? 46 degrees Fahrenheit is what in Celsius? Do you know? No, yes, no.
No. Hi, Gene, in the chat.
Oh,
We're
it's
down to
like 8 degrees Celsius. Is that what it is?
okay.
So I don't. It's so tough. It's so tough. 10 degrees Celsius in London. Yeah, it's so tough. Sometimes I don't. I don't know how. It's a little bit. It's like the metric system a little bit here. Like sometimes the stuff
Well,
kilometers to miles and
put
all that stuff.
put it this way: a week ago, you'd have to wear your winter coat, hat, scarf, and wrap up. A week
Okay.
later, they're wearing t-shirt and a shorts. Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
It is. It's supposed to warm up. I know back home on the East Coast, they had snow. They had like 6 inches of snow. It was pretty bad, but but it's now going to be, I think, is it like 28 degrees or 26 degrees Celsius, I think, or something like that. It's going to be in the 70s, 70s there. It's Fahrenheit, so it's very interesting. How it's gone from freezing cold to all of a sudden back to being, comfortable
Somewhat
weather.
like, yeah. It's crazy.
Crazy times we live in.
It's true. Hot ice cream, it wouldn't be nice.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. I do have an update for you, and that is, I saw on Liverpool FC they gave an update on Florian Wirtz. Our gaffer said that it has been confirmed that Florian Wirtz is expected to miss both games against Wolves this week. We will obviously travel there Tuesday for the game, for the Prem game, and then Friday for the FA Cup game, correct? But Florian Wirtz has already missed Forest. He's already missed West Ham, obviously. He'll miss 2 additional games. I know it's a little bit. It sounds like a lot, but it's 2 games in 1 week in very short, short sessions. So, and Wolves is a team that you shouldn't have to rely so heavily on Florian Wirtz, but you do want to see him healthy and continuing to get rhythm. Slots of Zach Words was the game tomorrow will probably come too soon, and maybe the game of the week as well. But we hope to have him back somewhere next week. No panic, I think, is what I'm trying to emphasize. Certainly long-term planning by trying to maximize the amount of recovery time this player is going to have.
Well, I'm getting ready for the Champions League game, Galatasaray first leg. Getting ready for that. These 2 Wolves games, cool. I think we've got enough in the squad to handle. It's going to be a tricky game tomorrow, bro. The FA Cup game is a different sort of mindset game, but for me tomorrow, if Wolves win all their games, for example, okay, they could possibly stay up.
They could.
Because the other day, I think all the bottom 6 teams or something all lost. Something like that. Well, a lot of them lost anyway. So, look, I don't think Wolves are going to be lying down. Their manager, you should have seen him the other day after they won against Villa. He was happy, man. And he supports Everton, this guy, their manager. He's an Everton fan. He's the old Luton guy. He's a straightforward type of manager on that. And so he will try to put a shift in against us tomorrow. No doubt about that. So for me, I like playing Wolves away. You did pretty well there. I remember Harvey Elliott's banger from there as well.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I do.
And the glory days.
The glory days. Back when we used to do the blood, sweat, and tears of Liverpool back then, Do you think that are you concerned that we're not going to have that? Maybe we're by holding out Florian, we're possibly taking some risk against Wolves, because Wolves have played decent against some of these teams. People would think that their record looks shocking. I agree, but it is not the case when it comes to when you look at the actual play that they present, they've played well against some teams. Obviously, got even a result here or there against some big name teams.
They did pretty well recently.
Yeah.
Bless up, Abdul. Hope you're cool, man. All good here. All good.
Let me ask you this. Maybe this will be better. Do you need? Question from Dustin was: do we need to buy another similar player to Florian Wirtz? Because since he's out, it's probably some of the generation of what the question is coming from. But when he's out, we don't really have other expressive players.
Well, in the 2 games he's got missing, Mac Allister sort of scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
And like for me, normally I view Mac Allister not as a goal scoring, assist making type of midfielder. But in the last 2 games, he's popped up 2 games, 2 goals. I predicted he's going to score against West Ham as well. I just had a funny feeling. And I think he might have found his feet now. Great timing with Wirtz out and stuff. Like, look, Wirtz, probably one of my favourite players. He's going to be my favourite player for Liverpool on that. Because why? What he does on the pitch is he's a geller. He gels the defence, the midfield to the attack and whatever. And then you'll see him passing, like in the last games he was playing, him and Salah were sort of clicking a little bit better. Him and Jones have clicked well. Him and Ekatike have clicked well. So with him missing, I just feel we lack that a little bit of extra. That little bit of something you're not really going to realise what Wirtz is going to do. And that's what I like about him. When you know football and you know what he's going to do, you can become tedious and a bit boring. With Wirtz, bro, I don't know what he's going to do. And that's the beauty of it. So that's why I will miss him playing not tomorrow. In a weird way, I wish he was ready. But if that means, look, he's taking a little mini sort of break because he's been playing all season as well. Let's not forget. And he's been playing for Germany. And this is probably the first sort of break he's had in a long time. So the Wolves games, cool. Cool opponents for him to miss out again. Hopefully he'll be ready for the first leg against Galatasaray because for me, away at their stadium, I will need him to be playing. I know it's a back, something to do with his back. And for me, the best way for getting rid of back pain is walking. So hopefully he's just been walking and trying to get rid of the back pain. That's the best way.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying about the creative player that we could utilize, like as in I wouldn't go as far as to say Elliott was some like Thiago-esque style player, but I will say Thiago was when he was obviously healthy enough to play for us. Coutinho was. I look at Florian Wirtz. I'm not saying that he is Thiago. I'm not saying that he's even excuse me. I'm not even saying he's at the Coutinho level of what we witnessed Coutinho to be. But I am saying that he has potential, incredible potential like those players. And he definitely has skills and talents that hopefully he can continue to evolve into the level of player those players were for us. There was a question from Scouse Adam, and then there's a question from Abdul. Question was not LC related as such. If Arsenal win the league, but Tottenham win the Champions League, but get relegated, who's had the best season?
Oh, good question, man. Bless up, Scouse Adam. Arsenal then, isn't it, really? Come on. Like for me, Tottenham, if they get relegated, bro, the shame of that will probably overcome the Champions League success, you know what I mean? If you balance it out. Premier League is Premier League, you know what I mean? You can't get relegated.
Yeah, I think despite the fact that Spurs would be able to say that they have a Champions League and Arsenal still wouldn't, that would definitely be a crawl in their feathers, but it would still hurt to know you got relegated. And guess what? You're getting Champions League football, but again, so is Arsenal. And, and Arsenal get Premier League football and they get all those benefits. So I would say most likely Arsenal would have had the better year. But I'm hoping both of them don't. And then last but not least, what do you think about some sections of Leeds United fan base booing Muslim players breaking fast? I think that's reprehensible. I think that's horrible. But I also think that unfortunately, those elements of humanity still exist. I mean, ultimately, we can say what we want about fandom and the likes, but reality comes down to it. I heard about Spurs. We're just speaking about Spurs, for instance, and I heard about the fact that a couple of their fans, apparently, I believe it's Spurs, a couple of their fans against Frankfurt were making a particular type of salute in Germany, and they were found out. They were obviously booted from stadium and yada, or found out to have done so, and they've been they will find themselves facing possibly not only problems with getting into Champions League games or getting in to see football, but also possibly for seeing their own team, plus even seeing maybe some jail time in certain areas of the world. Racism is not acceptable at all. So it shouldn't be acceptable at all anywhere anyway, but it's certainly the case there. All right. One more question. Jean Gray is asking, how would that work if Spurs got relegated and win Champions League? Do they still get to play in Champions League regardless? Yes, they do. Even though they would be in the championship, they would still be in the Champions League.
But let's be realistic. Yeah. Tottenham, they can't even win a goal on these guys.
Yeah. I was trying to think of when, I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think that's ever happened in the history.
That's never happened. No. It'd be the first time.
Yeah.
That'd be mad. But, yeah.
All right, back to what we were talking about. I'm going to get into some rumors, some team talk and things such as that. It's JK's favorite portion of the of the show. Mm-hmm. Rumors. That hot goss, You can tell by JK's demeanor. This is obviously his favorite part of the show. But there is a player. Shout out Dara, big up Dara. There's a player right now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You want to say hello?
No, I just want to say hi to Dara, Trudon as well. I hope you're cool, man.
Yeah. There's a player named Samson Baidu. He's apparently being deemed as possibly the Virgil van Dijk successor. I don't know how many times I'm going to hear this Virgil van Dijk successor term be used. I know that was like what Gahey was supposed to be if we got him. There was what possibly Ibu would be if he continues with the team. I know that's what JJ or Jeremy Jacquet is supposed to be for us eventually as well. There is even an argument that Leone could be that player. And then there's always the argument of like other players that are in the mix that could be that guy. But according to reports, Liverpool are in the pole position to sign this rising Ligue 1 center back named Samson Baidu. No, it's not spelled like Erica Badu. Baidoo. They're not alone. meaning Liverpool are now alone in this pursuit because apparently Manchester City are very, very handsomely involved in trying to secure his signature this upcoming summer. Some might be asking, who is Samson? He's a 21-year-old. He was developed in Austria. He is played for Liefering, right? Liefering. He played for Garager AK and now Red Bull Salzburg. He's made 71 appearances for Salzburg. He moved to Lens for 8 million euros. Now he is valued at 45 to 55 million euros. That would make him the record sale for Lens if he and he would surpass Luis Openda. And it is a quick rise for the player. Some are saying what makes him special. This is what has been I've read from scouting reports because I haven't seen too much of his play, to be honest with you, other than some few highlights that I watched to kind of familiarize myself with the player. He's a physical force. He is tactically deemed as a mastermind. I don't know if I go that far, but that's what one of the scouting reports called him. He's explosive. He's durable, lightning fast reaction time, and one of the toughest center halves in League 1. The key line in the report was he is the ideal successor to Virgil van Dijk. And why Liverpool want him is this. Virgil van Dijk, still the best center half, I think, in Premier League football today. But we have to have a succession plan ready. Konate's future is uncertain. JJ's injured. Leone's injured. Gomez might be on the move. He fits the profile of being a young player, athletic, high ceiling, comfortable in press, and like he's press resistant at least. It could be something that FSG see as being a really good signing model, which is buy early before that price gets ballooned up, develop and peak at 24, 25, maybe 26. Here's the twist, though. City are involved in this one. City's plan is this. City is offering to buy the player, loan him back. Our plan is to buy the player and give him the potential of playing immediately. That could tell you something, right? Right, JK? That could tell you something about maybe this is the fact that we are certainly going to go in for another center half, but it could mean that we're going in for a center half of with a high ceiling, a young center half, instead of going in to the window for a renowned, already established center half.
And the thing is, all the centre backs we brought are pretty young. So that means in the time they come, Virgil will be there. We'll give them 2 years to train with him, this, that, and the other. Gomez, Konate, to help them lads settle down and that.
Bernard just Wirtz says it feels like any young player that strings a few decent performances together gets a big price tag slapped on them straight away. I think you're right about that. I think that most agents, especially, but most teams too, will try to put high valuations on players simply for the fact that this market, with the market the way it is, and how the teams of the Premier League, more and more teams of the Premier League can afford these players. And that's why it is getting that way. It used to be there's maybe like 3-4 teams that could realistically pay those kinds of prices. Now you're looking at teams in the middle of the pack that could sell a couple of their own players and string together a couple of big signatures themselves and be their own incubators.
That's how England have been doing it for years, bro. As soon as a young player in England sort of shines for a couple of games, oh, this guy's going to reach the sky's the limit. £30 million in them days. It's going to go for big money. You know what I mean? And it's just it's like if you're selling houses. You go to the house, clean it up, paint the walls, do the garden up to add an extra couple of grand on top. And that's like with football players. They're not sure they're going to make it, but at the end of the day, they're going to say he is. Why? Because that's where the profit is. If you don't say he's going to be fucking great, you're going to take 30 million off the price tag straight away.
Yeah.
So that bullshit they give you, oh, he's going to be great, is actually, I don't believe, until I see him play. Like this Rio, he's a top little player. You've seen it in glimpses. But I can't say what he's going to be like in a couple of years. I don't know if he's going to go to drum and bass parties and party all weekend and do stuff like that. God knows, you know what I mean? So, so that's why
if he does, I'll keep an eye on him. I'll keep an eye on him if he does.
Keep an eye on him, bro. I don't like two things I don't like about football is rumors and going over the top about potential youth players. I think time will tell you and give you the answers, you know? Everyone's talking about Rio like he's Maradona, bro. Sometimes I'm like, chill out. He's improved in the last 2-3 games, his body language, in the way he is taking the ball on. It's a different type of way of doing it. And that's what I'm saying. It's all about game time. And we're not sure how good he's going to be, but we'll support him, you know what I mean? And we ain't going to get on his back.
Okay. Okay. He's not. I wouldn't go as far as he's not Maradona. Let's not get twisted. But you know what? I will be this. I will say openly this. If he could be a better version of Raheem Sterling, I will be very happy. Is there anyone against that?
Sterling was good, but I think he's going to be better.
Oh, that's what I said. I said if he could be a better version of Raheem Sterling, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Long as he's sensible, that's the main thing. Like at the end of the day, bro, a lot of young players don't make it. Why? Two things: can't handle the pressure, and they can't handle the money. And then off the field, things get them sidetracked, and they're not concentrating on what's giving them the money to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? It don't make sense to me. And at the end of the day, if you're at Liverpool and you don't make it, you want to go to a club that's going to pay you top wages still. You know what I mean? And so that's what some footballers like Jordan Sancho. The reason why I reckon he couldn't handle the wages he was getting at United, bro. Same as Danny Drinkwater at Chelsea when he went from Leicester to Chelsea. The guy never kicked the ball again, I don't think. So that's what it is about a lot of youth players. Can they handle the off-field things and the money and girlfriends and this and that? There's a lot of shenanigans that go on, soap operas, some of it. But so, yeah, man.
Yeah. Rumors are like polls unreliable. Polls unreliable. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, spot on.
Jean Grey, that's a funny one. Look, I haven't heard that. I haven't really have heard who Rio reminds me of. I know people don't. Some people try to stay away from the whole like, oh, he's the next this or he's the next that. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's horrible to kind of say, oh, he reminds me of this player, and eventually when he is able to be fully formed and shaped and formed in his game, then you could say it's he's defined his own game of his own. But again, I just happen to think that I thought that, let's not get it twisted, I thought Raheem Sterling when he played for our team was an excellent player. I enjoyed. I thought Raheem Sterling was not only a talented player, but an immensely promising player. It just so happens that a lot of what a lot of what you saw with Raheem Sterling was, at least the ups and downs, was because of some of the coaching that he got from, I believe, Brendan Rodgers and the likes.
You remember them days when Rodgers had to go at Sterling in training?
Yeah,
Oh God, remember that?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I do. I do. There is another player talking about players that could be on the move. Marmardashvili. Reports claim that Georgi Marmardashvili is really considering asking for a move. He is considering his future. I'll unpack this for you as best I can. Liverpool signed him from Valencia for £29 million, left him on loan for the season. Actually had a two-year loan. That was what he was a part of, but was recalled. But we had the option to recall him early after the first. Once we did make the move for Kelleher, because normally he was going to make a situation where the 2-year loan would have seen Kelleher play that last year, and then he would have, transitioned in, and he would have been our second fiddle when it comes to goalkeeping. But now, um, as our number two, he hasn't really been getting that much playing time. And if you notice, he hasn't even in cup competitions, whether it's League Cup or especially when it comes to the FA Cup as of recent, our coach hasn't been giving him the time to make it his own. Again, I there are things about Arne Slot that I really commend. There are things that I'm critical on the coach about. I don't appreciate and enjoy this this journey in man management with Arne Slot. I do think that when it comes to the cup competitions, personally, I think you should give your goalkeeper, your second goalkeeper, the ability to hold down the domestic cups for us. I know some people want to see Ali play. I'm not trying to do a debate about that per se. But what I am saying is I think one of the reasons why a lot of us have such high opinion of Kelleher is because of his play in the cup competitions, because of the champions, the titles we've won with him in the cup competitions, and most notably, especially under Jurgen Klopp, he was given the ability to play as our starting goalkeeper in those games, in those finals. By the way, it was as if this is your tournament. You got us here. So again, that's just the reality of it. Is though now is that we all know that Ali's turning 34 in October. Still an elite goalkeeper. Most likely will be our goalkeeper going forward next season as well. As his contract is expected to run until 2027. I said expected to run because who knows? Maybe Ali chooses to play elsewhere. Excuse me. But Marmardashvili, 25 years old, 35 caps for Georgia, played at Euro 2024, was definitely his breakout performance in that tournament. 134 appearances for Valencia. He's not a developmental player anymore. He is a starter level keeper. Let's be honest. And telling him that you're probably not going to see game time for the rest of the season unless there is a injury probably isn't what you want to hear.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, bro, he should realise he ain't at West Ham here or Leicester. He's at Liverpool, all right? He could go probably to another team, of course, but he should have that patience in himself thinking, okay, I'll play cup games. I'll play for my country, and I'll be the Liverpool goalkeeper in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting paid. It ain't like he's doing it for fucking free. You know what I mean? It's like the patience of these players sometimes is a bit annoying. Okay, you want to play football, I understand, bro. But at the end of the day, you got the world's #1 goalkeeper in front of you. So there's no chance there. You know, you had your chance earlier on in the season, bro. And for me, he wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me, he should be learning from the Brazilian goalkeeper coach, Tafarel, over the last years or so. Because he's been with us for a while now, this lad, Mamardashvili.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a bit disrespectful for me.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to be the full goalkeeper, because he ain't going to go to Man City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Real Madrid, or Barcelona, or Bayern Munich very soon. He ain't going to go there. So at the end of the day, this is probably as good as he's going to get for him, Liverpool. And if he ain't got the fucking patience to sit there and think, you know what, I'll train like a dog, get paid, keep fit, always ready to play second goalkeeper if I need to, and I'll have my day soon.
Yeah, Red Armchair Supporters supports what you say. He says facts, patience required at the top levels. Jean Grey is like, that shows her mama doesn't feel he has anything to learn from Ali. Slot is not utilizing him, so go. Not the right head, not the right, frame of mind for her. Bye, she says. She should be grateful to take part in the elite club. Agreed.
And if he was a top goalkeeper in the games he's played for us, I'll tell you, you know what, your choice, bro. He weren't great. He let 6 goals in against Turkey in the World Cup qualifiers.
No, I get that. I mean, he's not saying that he necessarily wants to leave. It's not saying he's saying he wants to transfer. He's asking for a loan.
Yeah.
So he can get playing time, basically, is what he's.
Well, that means we have to get another decent goalkeeper in next year. Then, if he wants to go on loan next season.
I told you, hey, people laughed or people mocked what I had to say when I said that. I think that we might go after that Polish goalkeeper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah.
I honestly think that's. I think the grumblings of Marmardashvili have possibly led to us.
Breaking.
What's that?
Is that news sort of coming out that we're after another goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to catch up on what people are saying in the chat here.
Eugene, slots man management, it's really bad. I don't understand. I think sometimes he thinks he's a manager of a Sunday league team. You know, the guys who come in the night before pissed out of their face and they'll come for the game on a Sunday, and that's why he's like that. Mm-hmm. Like his man management for me is pretty poor, but we can't really say that because we don't know what he's like when he's at training, when the cameras are not there. You know, he seemed very happy in the press conference, but his management for me, man, he could have done it better. And a lot of it ain't just one player, bro. You know,
it's not.
If it was one player,
yeah, it'd be one thing, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's a new. There's a number of players there. Sacco was the one.
And it's not like it goes away either. It's like one player says it, and then it goes away it goes away maybe for that player, but then it pops up on another player. Another player's mad. Another player's mad. Another player's angry.
Yeah, Jones and Chiesa, like we ain't seen them in the last few games.
Yeah. I mean, like, remember you remember what happened with Jones when he had the little falling out on the pitch with the coach about instructions, and then after that you heard all of a sudden you heard Jones maybe going to Spurs, then going maybe to Italy, and
Arsenal,
then
into Milan.
yeah, like it's like
there you go.
talking about the scouts in the team, all of a sudden going to like all these different teams. I'm like, whoa, where is that coming from?
And look, at the end of the day, Curtis is probably playing his best he's ever played for Liverpool this season.
Yep. This is probably his best year.
And look what he's done for him. Look what he's done to him now. Derailed him.
Yeah.
That's why he lost the fucking ball how many times against Forest.
Easy.
No, it's true, bro.
I know. I'm just saying. You get a little getting a little potty mouthed about it. I got you.
nah, bro. You know when it comes to a point when a manager does silly things, and we all love Liverpool, and we keep it cool on this channel. So for me to get irate about a topic, I must be pissed off. Like I didn't just get pissed off because we didn't score from a corner or something like that. But for me, it's that level of respect he's showing his fellow army members. You know what I mean? It's not to that level of Liverpool.
Well, he could request a loan. Apparently, Valencia would welcome him back. We're not any under pressure to sell because he's linked up to a deal that has him signed till 2031. So if he stays, fantastic. If he ends up going on a loan, hopefully this continues to improve on his skills outside of Liverpool. But it is something that I'm very interested to see what develops underneath there. I guess this other one is another player that is maybe on the way out or maybe going to stay, but we are reviewing our defensive options. Everyone knows that the signing of JJ or Jeremy Jacquet is a good and positive one, but the player has just undergone or is about to undergo season-ending surgery finally for his shoulder. And here's the bigger issue. If Ibrahim Konate, if he is going to have his contract expire at the end of the season, it means that he goes for free and we have to replace him. There's been interest from Real Madrid, PSG, even Inter Milan are involved. I don't think Inter Milan's a serious name to worry about. Let's be honest. The Italian teams tend to offer terms and also figures for the players. They will give them for free, obviously, but terms and figures tend to be on the low end scale. And despite the fact that he is leaving for free, he would still then look to get a huge chunk of that in the signing bonus. But there has been obviously the talk about Beidou if Konate leaves. And then there has been also the talk about this little curveball, which is Kwanzaa possibly returning back to Liverpool. Sold him for 35 million euros. We have a buyback clause apparently installed where it is an 80 million euro buyback clause until May 2026.
That's on Paul Pogba level of foolishness, that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's just... Why don't we say, you know what, take him on loan and we'll talk about it at the end of the season. So if he smashed it for them for a year, was, you know what, we're not letting him go. If he was all right, you say, yeah, you can have him 30 million. I wouldn't have done like that. That's Paul Pogba levels, man. Wow.
Yeah, Kwanzaa's been thriving, man. Out in Bundesliga,
He scored as well.
32 appearances. He just scored 4 goals. He's got I think it was an equalizer, right? I think his goal was the equalizer in the stoppage time that he had, and he is a U21 Euro champion, right? He was part of that England Euro Championship team.
I watched him against Olympiacos, and he was sound.
Okay.
Yeah, for Leverkusen, yeah.
It's kind of weird that we would go back. It's kind of weird that we would be talking about paying 80 million euros for a player that we already had as someone we had as an academy graduate. We're paying now 80 million. It's like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Hence why I would leave Kwanzaa alone. That'd be embarrassing for me.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this. 1 hour, 20 minutes in. So this is crunch time. We need. I figured that I'd bring out that clutch goal, and that is similar to what we saw, by Virgil van Dijk in a couple occasions, most notably the one against Forest. But this set piece revolution, I'm going to be calling it, or this set piece revival. I'm going to talk about what we've been all stressing for some time, and that is for us to get serious about our set pieces. Pops is saying we got our money up front and we'll give it back if we deem him good enough.
Yeah, that's what Pops.
It is, but we're still paying.
Double the money, isn't it?
It's like, it's not basically
a bit more.
Yeah, it's not like we're giving our money back and getting our player back. We're giving our money back and then saying here's double.
Yeah. It's sort of costing us 30 odd million. It would.
Right.
And that means if we just let him go on loan, we would have saved 30 million.
Oh yeah.
Whoever made that decision is a bit mad.
Yeah. I mean, I think the buyback clause obviously had a. I think the buyback clause obviously was an insurance policy to say, well, if we made a mistake on letting this player go, we can get him back. That's obvious.
Yeah, but for me, go on.
No, I was going to say real quick, but if we were to loan the player out, it would say that maybe he's not the player that we need now. However, we're not stupid enough to say we're going to give away much needed resources, and meaning like money, to Leverkusen in the summertime just to get him back. Pay his salary. He's not making crazy money. Pay his salary. Do the percentage split, whichever it is that Leverkusen is comfortable with taking on, and allow for him to play for Leverkusen. Allow for the same development would have happened whether he was a loan option or whether he's a bought player, and then at least we get the player back. But
at the end of the day, bro, you ain't gonna put a buyback clause on a player that you realise he ain't good enough to play for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, what's the purpose of putting that in Kwanzaa's contract when, if you said he ain't good enough to play for Liverpool, you shouldn't have even put it in there then? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bit of a weird one there. Is it because Slot didn't like him? They thought we'll sell him? What's going on here? Because we knew what happened with Kwanzaa, bro.
Mm-hmm.
First game started, got taken off, and he sort of lost his mind a little bit after that. You know what I mean? In that way of football. That's another example of man management. Oh, great! That's another example right there for Eugene as well. You know what I mean? Kwanzaa for me was the top lad. Him and Harvey Elliott, bro, two young players who were loving playing for Liverpool under Klopp, thinking, you know what, like, are we dreaming here? Because Kwanzaa came from nowhere, and Harvey Elliott was a Liverpool fan as a kid. So we had these two guys who would probably play for Liverpool for free them days because of the chance they're getting. Like, Kwanzaa's playing next to Virgil van Dijk, bro. Come on. That's everyone's fucking dream if you're playing centre-back. So that's the way we handle them two players, for example, I didn't like. Because for the price you're going to get for them, it ain't like we're getting 150 for Kwanzaa and 150 for Elliott. It's pittance when you really look at it. 30 odd million each is not a vast amount of money. It isn't a Wirtz, Isaac sort of transfer money. So, and that's why I'm a bit frustrated with that. People are moaning about, bench and this and that. I'm telling you now, I'd rather have Harvey Elliott and Kwanzaa on a bench than say Trainioni and Woodman.
Preach.
Yeah. Woodman. We've got 3 goalkeepers and ready to play. No wonder Mohamed's really sort of pissed off. You know what I mean? He's like a sandwich. You got Allison at the first, him in the middle, and you got the Woodman at the bottom.
You would
He's got
think
the
that,
standard,
hey, I mean, we're one of the few teams that when we play games, we have 2 goalkeepers on the bench. You would think that by having 2 goalkeepers on the bench, we expect to play one of them or something, I guess, or get someone else in, you know?
And that's what I was going to say earlier about goalkeepers, bro. When you're a right back, like a Ramsey, you could be called into a game anytime. But when a goalkeeper starts a game, he will finish that game.
Exactly.
You get me?
Yeah.
It's none of this, oh, you know what, I'll take him off after 70 minutes, give the other lad a go. You know what I mean? It isn't like that for goalkeepers. Hence why Marmadas really knows if he ain't starting, he ain't going to see nothing in that game.
Yeah. Yep. Woodman, Harvey Davies, English tick box like Scott Carson. I'm not going to go there, Red Orange supporter. I don't know about what he is, what kind of sandwich or
He's
whatever.
the pastroni in the sandwich.
I don't know what that is about. Pops is saying he was good enough, but had some off-field issues allegedly. So they sent him to focus, hoping to return. I know about some of those issues. I understand that because he was, now making money, and he unfortunately was falling into possibly, allegedly, the wrong company. But let's see. 35 million basically to develop him into a top player. Pop's guesses. I think maybe. Hear me out. Just I'm gonna do some K-Mac conspiracy stuff maybe here real quick.
But
Shout out
Osman's coming?
Huh? Yeah, not
Osman's coming? Again? Before we play them, he's gonna come.
Shout out to K-Mac. He's our guy. I was thinking that if we were to go back for Kwanzaa, and this goes off what Abdul has said later on in the chat here. I'd have to look for his comment, but I think he said something of like, why would Kwanzaa want to play for Arnie Slot? And that's a great question. I think also some of the comments that he made weren't really positive ones about his treatment under Arnie Slot, to be honest with you. But it could be maybe a testament that the club is preparing or bringing in players that possibly aren't reliant upon Arnie Slot being here. And maybe more so than other, one of the ways to convince him to come back to the team, or for Kwanzaa to come back to Liverpool, would be the fact that there's going to be a new sheriff in town. So
yeah, possible. Yeah.
Maybe that's maybe there's more involved in that than there is. But
I like Trey Pops. I like Trey. I think he's a good little passer on the board, Trey. I've seen him pre-season. I was like, yo, this guy can pass. I was really impressed with the way he was.
You know what I liked about him, JK? I liked the fact that there was a couple of times. There's once in I think it was either Europa or it was the League Cup, but there was an opportunity he had to start under Jurgen Klopp, and he dribbled down like Matip and got an assist. And I was like, that's what I want to see out of our center halves. Like someone that can expand the pitch, someone that can go forward like that and just be like, a bull in a China store, I think it's called, or something like that.
China shop, yeah.
In the China shop, right? Like unable, menacing, unable to get the ball off him because he's physical. Make a deep drive into our opposition, and then be able to just get a good pass and utilize what you say, a good passing talent of his own to get an assist. I love this. I love that actually. Let's see.
Yeah, I agree with Dara about the midfield. even against West Ham, man, they overrun us in midfield. There's big gaps there. You could build a shopping centre.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of area in the middle of the park and that. But I like that player for West Ham, that Fernandez guy. He's a good little player, bro. Yeah, man. I've seen him a few games this season. I was like, yep, that's a player.
An endo in a Japanese shop, right? Yeah. There you go.
That's a good one.
Trey Neone's guy just shot over the bar area to improve for Trey. He is a good player and room to develop. Trey Neone's a good, very talented player. I know he's kicking himself over the opportunity that he missed. I was beat for him over that because I like Trey Neone as a player, and I think he has tons and tons of promise. Another player that's going to have to really fight and scrape to get some playing minutes.
These boys would be perfect under Klopp. See the squad we've got now under Klopp,
Right.
different ball game.
Right.
They would all get a taste, and it would be a happier bunch. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Agreed.
Trey and Rio, bro, at the end of the day, man, when we were 16, 17, 18, we would never have the mindset ready to play for Liverpool Football Club. We were playing Sunday League. I had trials at Cov and stuff, and to think these guys are like 17, 18, 19, and they're playing at Anfield in front of big crowds, man. That's like big up. That's a big respect. And these guys have to also realise they're training with Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Addison, Wirtz, Isaac, like top of the class players. And sometimes I think these youth players need to sort of bite their tongue and think, you know what, be thankful where they're at. They're at Liverpool, and also they're learning every day until they're 20, 21, and then they can show the world what they've learned over the last 3-4 years. That's my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
They need minutes, of course. Everyone needs minutes, bro. But Abdul. But the thing is, Slot's the type of manager. He's very cautious. He's not going to risk playing a Rio instead of a Gapco. Why? Because he knows he'll get the brunt of anger from the fans. What did you start Rio for? You knew he weren't ready for this type of game. It should have been Gapco. And then everyone's moaning when Gapco's playing all the fucking time. So you can't win or lose Slot. But for me, Slot's a cautious manager, and he's going to stick to what he feels is right and secure. Hence why he don't make substitutions so early on in games and stuff.
Right.
Hence why Curtis Jones and Chiesa ain't seen a blade of grass for a couple of games now.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. But we're winning these games. Yeah, FA Cup, straight away, I'm playing all these boys, Trey Neone, Rio, Chiesa. Yeah, because I feel in the Galatasaray Champions League games, we will need these subs.
Well, we'll not only need them, we'll certainly need these players to get through this week, to be honest with you. Tuesday game, we'll need these players to really be a part of that. You know,
look, our next 5 games.
Premier League game is first, as opposed to Premier League game being on the weekend.
Look, our next 5 games are 2 Wolves, 2 Galatasarays, and a Tottenham. That's our next 5 games. Mad, eh? That's just mad. Like, we're playing like these teams. Like, that's just funny. That is. And 3 of them games are away. Actually, yeah, 3 away, 2 at home. Yeah. Well,
let me get into what the main topic or main subject of the show was, and that is set pieces. Look, Slot's football DNA is supposed to be positional control. We're supposed to have all this sense of dominance, ball dominance. It's supposed to be structured pressing. It's supposed to be open play superiority. And that can be all put into question because we haven't necessarily been able to sustain that, much less even attempt that at times. However, when it comes to Liverpool, set pieces have been very, very problematic for us. We have not been scoring quite a bit on them. We've seen the change in the league in the way that the league has gone. By the way, absolute travesty of calls this weekend when it comes to set pieces. It is absolutely incredible how certain calls can be dictated or explained away as being acceptable one week and then not acceptable the other. They can be cards one week and then not be cards the next week, or they could be penalties one week and not be penalties the next. It's never been about necessarily making a call with me. It's more about having the consistency to keep the same energy for all the calls. So if you're going to make a call for one way, then make it for the other. There's lots of plays that happened over the weekend that were very, very troubling for me when it comes to the officiating. But it's modern football as we know it, basically. Arsenal have weaponized it. Newcastle use it. By the way, I think I can't. I might. There's certain players I probably would have a different opinion if they played for my squad, but Burns on Newcastle. Oh, dude, he's a little bit of a. I know he's a tall guy and a big guy, and most likely people were like, "Oh, you wouldn't say it to his face." No, I would say it to his face. He's a pretty low budget player when it comes to some of the actions he puts on the pitch. But he did a situation where he involved himself in trying to make the Everton player get up when he was injured. He was holding his knee and he was seriously injured, and he went over and he wanted to go tell him to stop faking and get up and try to pick him up the same way Martinelli did. Look, my quick side note: if a player goes down and he's injured, whether it's real or not real, allow for it to be deemed as such, but take the precaution that he is not faking. Okay. And because the last thing you want to do is be associated with making an injured player, impact that injury even worse by you trying to be a jerk and not show good sportsmanship in allowing for the medical team to assist the player, because I'm certain that you would want the same respect deemed your way if that was the case. So big boo-hoo, big boo. I'm gonna make sure I make the understanding of it all. And when it comes to he gets the Martinelli. There you go. All right. But I would say this about our team. Certainly lately, we have been better at set pieces, corner kicks, defensively and offensively. Okay. We have been so on point. Some might say the streets are here. Shout out to Ross the Crab in the chat too. Some would say so fresh and so clean is what we are right now, usually helping us stay in contention for clean sheets. And that's what we need to see is how we continue to evolve into a team that can still play our game, can still play all those aspects of what we call slot ball or whatever form of football we try to bring out there in open play, still be that team, but know that when it comes to set pieces, we can get down in the ditches. We can get down and dirty if necessary. And we've fired our set piece coach, and ever since it took a little bit of a time to adjust and get our rhythm. But lately we've been doing pretty well. Been doing pretty decent. There's something that the report I saw spoke on that was very interesting. We did this whole 6-yard box takeover, basically. And what I mean by that is, the 6-yard box occupancy is up. Like as in the amount of attackers that we utilize, the amount of in-swinging corners that we're taking are up dramatically over the numbers from before. And let me see if I can bring up some of these numbers for you. You can see some of the corners that into the 6-yard box here. That's what I'm speaking on. We've been consistently raising the level of those types of attacks. And you also take this down here. And that's what's happening across the league. Attacking teams are flooding the 6-yard box, knowing that it's going to be chaos. That goal, for instance, for Arsenal over the weekend, I think hit 3 players before it finally went in. It's like pinball when it gets into the box. And on average, they are stacking the box with attackers. Originally, for instance, they spoke about how Chelsea tried to force Arsenal the last time they played out of their normal, if you're going to stack the box, then we're going to drift players forward so that we can hopefully win the ball and have a man advantage going the opposite direction. But it really forces teams to commit players to our defensive box, meaning 7 to 7.33. I know it sounds weird. There's no 0.33 person, but that's what the average is out to be, is that we end up seeing at least 7 people in the box at all times on corners. And that's really unusual for what it usually is. And that is defensively, that's what you see. So it compresses space, it restricts goalkeeper movement. There's times when the goalkeeper has absolutely no space to react. And that's the point. And that's weird because it reduces the first contact probability, and it turns corners into chaos. Liverpool, we have been late to adapt to it. But now, 70% of our recent corners land directly in the 6-yard box, which is considered the sweet spot. And I'll tell you this, before that, and check this out, you can react the way you like, but before that, you know what our accuracy or the amount of times we were getting corners into that quote-unquote sweet spot of the 6-yard box? I just said we're now hitting 70%. Before that, we were at 19%. 19% is how often you saw corners get into a spot where Virgil or Ibu could actually make contact with the ball and possibly use their aerial dominance to win balls and possibly get shots on goal. That is a staggering structural shift when it comes to the importance of corner kicks. And then you might ask yourself, why in-swingers? And it's easy, because they curve towards the goal. They force defenders to face their own net, which is uncomfortable for them. Increases the second ball volatility. It reduces the goalkeeper's authority in the box. You can case in point, look at Virgil van Dijk's goal. It was a direct kick. You look at Hugo Ekitike's opener, the second phase chaos that happened when Alexi got his absolutely incredible volley. That's what we talk about, having control in the box. And that's not coincidence. That's repetition. That's becoming actual, it's becoming actual, not only practice, but becoming an acceptable occurrence for us. I'll say also, before I bring JK into our conversation, because there's other parts of this that I want to get back into the conversation about, but Ekitike is a structural weapon that we have to continue to utilize. I would like to also add that I would like to see Cody be a more conditioned role player in the box, utilizing his. I've mentioned it multiple times throughout this entire season. Hopefully, Arnie tunes into one of these episodes and hears it and utilizes it. But it's about profiles. Ekitike is 6'3". He's explosive, positionally intelligent. Guess West Ham, he had a goal, holds his zone, is very good at his finishes most times. And the second goal was he acted as a decoy. He drew players away, draws markers, but created a channel. The third goal, he peels off late, attacks the blind sides, able to just to get the ball back into play into a player that could put the ball in the back of the net, and he does. Set pieces have become our insurance property. When Florian Wirtz or any of these players up front, Salah aren't scoring goals, we need to score. We need to utilize these other opportunities. Plain and simple. In corner kicks, we are 4th in the league in corners won. 4th. Only 7 fewer than Arsenal, by the way. They're generating the volume. Now we have to generate the consistency of scoring on them and defending them, obviously. But when I say winning them, obviously I'm talking about scoring on these opportunities that we have. I'm going to ask JK this question. Has Ekitike become more important in dead ball situations than even open play?
Not really, because did he really score from free kicks and corners? Not really. He's more of a goal scorer with the ball on the ground. That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah. For me, our centre backs are our main weapons on set pieces. When you look at it, Virgil stepped up in the last month, goals, clean sheets. You know what I mean? Kanate even scored. Kanate should score more now. I think Kanate is playing much better now than he has for a long time since his return. So people like when you look at Cody Gakpo, he should be doing more in the box with headers. He's a tall guy. Who else you got there? You got Szoboszlai. I've never seen Szoboszlai header a ball in my life. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know? Mac Allister heads more than these guys, and he's the smallest guy on the pitch, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Hey, rest in peace. But Diego used to do the same.
Jota for me was probably for a small guy one of the best at it. His headers were top class.
Yeah. He was able to get spacing so well to get spacing and be able to create space enough that you can know when to time your jump, even though you're not the tallest person, knowing how to time your jump, how to fend off your defender and be able to get to the place.
Yeah, what a header of the ball, man.
Yeah.
He was a street footballer for me, Jota, and I miss that.
You know what? No, go finish it off. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, the way I see Jota as a footballer, why I really attached to his football, because he played football like he did on the streets or down the park. He was that type of guy, you know what I mean?
I was going to say that it does possibly do this. With our success at corner kicks, I would go as far as to say, and especially since Salah has been taking corners here and there for us, maybe it puts a little bit of less stress and pressure on Jota as that. Jota. Puts a little bit on Salah. Excuse me, rest in peace, Jota. But you're on my mind now. Always on my mind, but certainly right now. But it puts a little bit of less pressure on Salah when it comes to the fact that he's going through this drought. Do you agree with that, or is that maybe something that's too simplifying it too much?
About him taking corners, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for him, something to do for him. You know what I mean?
Kids are something for him to do.
I just said it straight there.
But
I tell you the truth, I like his corners. They're quality corners.
Yeah. Agreed. I'd rather see him on a corner than see him on the box. I know we had this conversation.
Yeah.
That was a question that I think Gene brought it up, or someone else brought it up in episode before of his question. And that's the reason why I do say that I'd like to see. Bernie brought it up actually. Bernie brought it up. My apologies. And that's the reason why I'd like to see him more involved on corners than, because I think that possibly Dom has one of the best outside the box shots on this team, and having him in the placement of being maybe a player that could not only be outside the box and be an outlet for a long range shot, but also the sheer fact that Dom Szoboszlai is one of our faster players, so he'll be able to get back into defense for us, or defend on a counter, and or the fact that he is just a better defensive player than Mohamed Salah makes me say I would rather see him further out, or at least as an option on the outside portion of the box with Maka. But it is what it is. I'll say this: why I think this matters about the corners is this, because this is the real heart of the conversation, and that is because 3 goals versus West Ham. Difference. You realize that if we didn't have those corner kick goals, those set piece goals, we're talking about a Desmond. Think about that. When your wingers are quiet, when creativity is at a lull or stalling, when teams are playing low blocks, you have to figure out other ways to score it. Set pieces become leverage. And elite teams have to do the most with them. They have to, because it's going to be possibly one of the few opportunities that you get regularly in a game where you're going to be able to get some type of chaos that could create some type of goal. We briefly, at one point, had the worst set piece numbers in Europe's top leagues.
Yeah, man. It was bad.
It was bad. And now, do you know that with the latest run, we have one of the best? That's a weird one. You fire your set piece coach, right? And all of a sudden, not saying it's all on his shoulders, by the way, but you fire.
It's Lee, the new one, because I ain't seen him for weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if we have one. I don't think we.
Yeah, it's Lee. He gave me a secret
message.
He said, "Bro, don't tell no one."
Maybe this Lee. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it is a weird one. It is a weird one. We
have. Bro, at the end of the day, football, you could score by dribbling. You could score by crossing. There's so many ways to score in football. That's why I love it. But concentrating on the set piece topic, because Slot today in the press conference again mentioned set pieces at the end. I think that was his last word. He said in the press conference, set pieces. Like, this guy's like, he thinks about the opposition too much in his press conferences. Or rather, he thought about the opposition when he's doing the teamwork, about how we're going to defeat the opposition. Or rather, he did that and talked to the players about it, instead of telling everyone on the press conferences of what he thinks about fucking set pieces. He's going to think now, opposition's going to think, you know what? These lot are not great at the back defending set pieces. Let's try and get set pieces in this game. So you got a chance to fall over, we'll get a free kick. Simple, man.
The amount of play acting.
Oh, it's out of control.
It is out of control in the Premier League.
There was one the other day I seen. It was probably one of the worst I've ever seen. Who was it?
Raya? The Raya one?
The Arsenal goalie? Mine was, who was it? It could have even been the Liverpool West Ham game. I think it might have been the Liverpool West Ham game, bro. He just fell down. He just
he fell down, go boom.
It's crazy. I think next season, they're going to do something about if a corner is given and a goal comes from it, they're going to check if the corner given was rightly given. You know
Oh,
what I
you
mean?
mean they're going to start? You think that they're going to go with my suggestion of
They're going to do.
checking goal? The sheer fact that that goal that they gave them a goal kick. They said that the ball was still in play, and then they showed the replay for how far that ball was out
Of the corner thing, yeah?
for Chelsea and in the Chelsea
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he pushed it back into the play of field, field of play. I meant, um, it was
That,
you could see space.
bro, you
Yeah,
got to build a shopping center between the ball and the.
and they still they didn't call they didn't call it out. They didn't call it a goal kick. They didn't even call it a corner. They just
What
said it
about
was
the
so
handball?
good.
What about his handball?
Oh, the handball. That's
Come
ridiculous.
on, man. Come on.
The
He was
handball.
hugging Chalobah like it was his cousin that he ain't seen in 15 years.
That's
I'm like, bro,
ridiculous.
he's like, he thought he was in a nightclub or something. Like, chill
Yeah,
out, bro.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Hugging on a brother.
He was like, "Hey, can I get a piggyback? Can I get a
Yeah,
piggyback?"
yeah, yeah. You know? Damn. That game was full. Look, they want Arsenal to win it. It's like it's too much going on with Arsenal. That was a penalty. That ball was outside the corner flag. Set joke,
Yeah,
man.
that was an absolute joke. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was horrible. No, the one about real quick before we go to the last segment portion of this segment here, the one I was speaking on was Raya. Raya was like, he came. It was a bad pass back from Zubamendi, and the Chelsea player, I want to say it was Ja Pedro maybe, or it was one of their forwards. Um, Attacked the goalkeeper, went after the ball, and Raya got to the ball first and got the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
No contact whatsoever, right? But Raya fell back and then eventually just jumped back awkwardly as if someone had like shot him from the stands. Like it was like he
Yeah.
was trying to like avoid, shrapnel fire or something like that. It was absolutely comical. Comical that he was trying to get, because it was a bad play, and I think he was trying to find a reaction of if they score, maybe I can get a call or get a foul called, to prevent the goal from going in or something. It was absolutely poor. No call was made, but the sheer fact that he was doing those theatrics was absolutely poor. Arsenal are on some other settings. If they are to win the league, they should win Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor,
Mm-hmm.
because they are on some theatrics this season.
They're not
Absolutely,
their fans, bro. The way
yeah,
the fans are, that's how the players are. Simple.
poor theatrics. Um, I'll say this: there's a question of, is this sustainable or is this opponent dependent? I'm going to be honest with you. West Ham were chaotic defensively. They allowed three contacts before the Mac Allister goal, for instance. Mateus Fernandez admitted they played for Virgil van Dijk. It failed spectacularly. But the trend predates this match. 3 consecutive league games with corner goals. I don't think when's the last time you were able to say that? 3 games, 3 goals from corners.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It's good. No, and I say that's good because if we're going to get them, we should utilize the opportunities that we get from them. But will teams adapt? Football is obviously cyclical. Will we find teams adapting to whatever that we've adjusted in our procedure? Will they adapt to us? And my final conclusion is this: this isn't just about corner kicks. It's about marginal growth. Slot arrived with an ideology that some of us bought into, some of us have bought out of, but in the most part, it's an ideology that encountered Premier League reality, and that is the Premier League is a league that has shifted towards corner kick chaos. It is a league that set pieces, long throw-ins are the way top tier teams score good numbers of their goals. And I don't want to see us lose our identity. I don't want to see us have to revert to being that. I would love to see us be more clinical in open play. But you can dominate possession. You can press aggressively. You can build through the midfield. But if you can also score off of dead balls, we would become a very multi-dimensional team. And that's what we need. I don't think that Arsenal are I don't think they're a multi-dimensional team, for instance. They're a good team, one of the top in the league. Obviously, they are the top in the league. But when you watch them play, it's not inspiring play. But they score goals off of corner kicks. I think Arsenal fans get more excited when they see their team get corner kicks than they do in open play.
Oh, when they get a penalty, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's sad. Yeah.
Look, it's a weapon and they use it in the right way, because for me, every team has corners. It isn't like Arsenal just get corners. No one else is allowed to take a corner. Everyone's allowed to take corners. So when you got that chance, make the best out of it.
I'm going to ask you a question, JK, then. Is the Premier League about to enter? Because I do remember this happened in Serie A. Are we about to enter this whole set piece era that was very similar to what we saw in Serie A decade ago? Is that and the reason why I'm asking that question is because it could be a scary thing for England. I'll explain after I hear JK's answer.
Like for me, free kicks, set piece, corner kicks have always been there. It isn't like we just invented them in the last few seasons, So it's always been a weapon to be used. I think weaker teams will use them type of opportunities to try to beat the bigger teams. Than instead of doing open play goals, pass, goal. The lesser teams are thinking, let's get a throw in. Let's do a couple of long throw-ins into the box against Man City. Maybe we nick one. And that's why now you're seeing it where teams who are weaker, Arsenal as well, because they're centre-backs. Gabriel is very good on corners. And he's the main guy. I don't understand why they just don't double mark.
He's very
annoying.
He's annoying.
His face just tells you everything.
Theatrics. He's got some theatrics in him too.
He's Bollywood, bro. He's Hollywood, Bollywood, whatever you want to call it. He's like a drama queen, that guy. Yeah. Hence why I want him to lose the Premier League, bro. I want to see his face. No one else's. Him and Arteta's. I'll be happy with that.
There you go.
Yeah. But for me, set pieces, look, it's two things on set pieces. You've got to win the first and the second ball. Okay, the first ball, okay, the defender gets it. Make sure you win the second ball then. And that's the thing about set pieces.
Right.
And the energy has to be right on set pieces. You can't just chill and do it. You've got to be eager to make that first and second ball. But I like the way we're crossing the ball now. A bit more precise in areas we need the ball to be. Like 3 goals the other day. Szoboszlai on one side, Salah on the other. Perfect. Leave it as that.
I said that I think it's a bad time for England. And what I mean by that is because we can all agree. There's other factors as well, obviously, but we can all agree that the level in Serie A has certainly taken a turn for the worse. And one of the reasons why they're not able to maybe get these big television contracts and the likes for teams that were once the class of football. Your AC Milans, your Juventus, your Inter Milans, the list goes on. The reason why it isn't is because they had this era where football was just not attractive football. They already play a defensive-minded football in Italy. It's not as fast-paced and as you see in the Premier League, or even as physical as the Premier League at times. And then you also mix in the fact that this set-piece era of Serie A is what you're going to get. And all of a sudden, it becomes a very difficult package to market. And by doing this, we're witnessing possibly the decline of pure open play, call it football romanticism. We see the rise of this engineered chaos, and that's all it is. See Declan Rice wiping down the ball before a long throw-in, and this is the guy that some people are trying to shoehorn into the Ballon d'Or conversation.
No, bro.
And then we get a reality check for all those that are doing that.
He's a good player.
Good player. Ballon d'Or?
Look, bro, I think if he came to us as the Henderson replacement, he would have done a good job.
No, he would have done a fantastic job.
Yeah. He's a top player. I think he's a good player, man. He's got the right attitude and that. He just plays for the wrong team. Simple as that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to like Odegaard. I think Odegaard was the player I wish we had back in the days. I reckon he's quality.
Who knows? Maybe Odegaard's won't be on the market.
I'd take him. I reckon he's quality, man.
He's not even getting starts.
He's not. He's not. He ain't been playing all season. Like, not all season, but for the past month or so.
Of your team.
Yeah, he's the captain, bro. Saka had the armband, and I was thinking, how come Rice hasn't got the armband? Saka armband? That's just a little thing to keep him happy and keep him.
Seniority, I think, is because of that.
I just think it's like, for me, Declan Rice is more of a captain than Saka. I think Saka was just given the captaincy, vice captaincy, because of keeping him at Arsenal. Because he can go to Barca, Real Madrid, whoever, Bayern Munich, whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. Even I'd take him at Liverpool, Saka. Yeah. Weird one. Arsenal, they've got a few players who, I don't know, good players. Even Eze weren't getting games, bro. Eze only got games recently.
Now he's getting games.
Yeah, mad.
It is mad.
Nice, Red Andre, that's funny. It's true. He's not good on set pieces. He's like, you're hitting the bench, lad. Yeah. Odegaard on the ball, quality player, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just not. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. I think he got 13 minutes against Spurs, 45 minutes against Brentford, 29 minutes. When was the last time he's played a full game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he's played a full game, really, in any of these. Odegaard, that is, hasn't played a full game.
Yeah. I think he had a little injury. I know that.
He did have an injury. You're right, but I don't believe he was injured the last couple of games. It's interesting.
He thought out.
Oh yes, I know. I'm sorry about that. If I open up another on my browser, if I open up another tab, it freezes this browser. So it might have looked like it. I apologize. Hope I didn't look silly. Hopefully I didn't. Hope I didn't look silly. It
I've
wasn't
seen
a
some
bad.
beauties, bro. I've seen some
Yeah. Hope it was a
quality
more.
ones. Like you just win the lottery or something. Them type of faces.
A thinking pose, something that
Yeah,
makes you
yeah.
look intelligent. At least there's something.
It's like Barney out of How I Met Your Mother. No matter what the situation was, he'd always put it off for a good photo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always pull out the good photo. Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
it was a good freezing photo. But thank you, Gene Gray. Yeah, he has played quite a bit. Yeah. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. Right on, your supporter. Um, I'll ask this other question then too. Do you think it's sustainable? Do you think that this new revival of corner kick, um, offensive contributions, even some could argue that the set pieces and some of the ways that we handled it on the weekend weren't the greatest for defense. But do you think it's sustainable? Do you think that we've turned the corner, when it comes to our set pieces?
Yeah, just by having Szoboszlai and Salah taking them gave us a bit more accuracy in the ball that's coming in. We looked dangerous on most set pieces against West Ham, and it was good to see. Actually, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Honest question to the chat, because we've got a good number of people in the chat, about like 30 people in the chat. Honest question. Do you think 1 to 10, where do you think we are? What do you think our chances are, 1 to 10, in getting top 5? Top 4. Let's say top 4. So I don't want to settle for 5th place. Do you think from 1 to 10, 10 being shoo-in, absolutely going to happen, to 1 being no way is it happening? From 1 to 10, in your opinion, top 4, Liverpool. JK, what would be your percentage or your number from 1 to 10? What would you give it as a rating?
80%.
Oh wow, that's high. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna go 100. I was gonna go 100, but I thought I better not. I'll just go 80.
Yeah. Don't want to get clipped up. Around Sport says we have a great chance, about 8 out of 10%, 8 out of 10 opportunity that will make the top 4. We got some tough games coming up. I know a lot of us feel that way now, but we have some very, very tough games coming up. Very tough games.
Well, I don't think the next 5 are. I think Wolves twice, Galatasaray twice, and Tottenham. We should be winning all them games.
Let's see.
Hi, Arto. Hope you're cool, man.
Yeah, big up, Art. Let's see. There are no times we played them, so it is. Our next games are. Hold on. I don't see our Wolves games in this. I'm trying to find our Wolves games. Okay, so our next games is Wolves, then Wolves again, obviously, but then we have Galatasaray, but then we have Tottenham. We host Spurs in between our Liverpool versus Galatasaray round of 16 matchup. And then we have Brighton, Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace. I would like to see us have 1, 2. We need a good solid 6 wins right there. Sounds. I'm not saying that's easy. It's not an easy bar, but it's not an easy bar. But we need to get that. Well, yeah, of course. In answer to the question about Wirtz, of course, I don't know what that's referencing, but do elaborate, please, Tom, about that. Which one you're answering? I don't think I asked the question about Wirtz, but
Whistle patch as well.
maybe earlier. You're responding to something early in the show. Maybe that is it.
I don't think United finish above us.
I don't think so either. And that's the thing. So we got some big games coming up. We would have some big games coming up for us.
Can't wait for the Everton game.
Yeah, that's one of those big games. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Get to those Wolves games. It's not 3 points. Get through the. We should beat Spurs at home. We should beat a bad Spurs team at Anfield. That's 6 points. Brighton away is not going to be an easy game. Brighton away is not going to be an easy game. I'd like to see it say we get a W there, get a win there, but I would go. I'll say to be conservative. I'll say a draw. So that's 7 points. Hosting Fulham, we should beat Fulham at home. That's not going to be an easy game either, but we should still beat Fulham. That's now 10 points. And then we go to Everton, which is going to be obviously different settings. And then it hopefully by that time, that 10 points, that 10-point minimum that we just built up, hopefully could and should be enough to at least give us a little buffer zone to go into the last spells of the season, where we'll have Everton, we'll have Crystal Palace at home, we'll have Man United, we'll have Chelsea at home, we'll have Villa away, and then we have Brentford at home. I'd say out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games from that Everton on to the end of the season, those 6 games are going to be tough to get. They're going to be tough to get points from. They're not going to be easy. They're not going to be walk in the parks, as they call it here. I think I saw Dustin ask a question. I think that the table will amount to be Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and then I want to say Villa. I still want to say Villa hold on to us and get that 4th spot. And why I say I would like to see Villa get the top spot or get that top spot is because I'd rather see Villa get Champions League money and help them and solidify themselves in trying to, get different talent or have more money in their coffers or whatever and yada yada. By having that, I wouldn't mind a team like Chelsea, who aren't going to be able to sell their hotels next year to make ends meet, and a team that's locked into 10-year deals with players and the likes. I especially want to see Manchester United not make top 5. I don't even want to see Manchester United make Europe again. If anything, make Conference League. That way, they have something to play for, in the sense of they're playing in Europe and they don't get a free shot against not being involved in any competitions during the season. It is a huge game against them. Tom, you're correct about that. I'm not disputing that we spoke on that earlier too, by the way. We spoke on the fact that Villa is in a bad shape right now. They are in extremely bad form. Gene Dre says the fact we're losing the league go for the fact that we're losing the league, go for everything else. Yes, absolutely. Go for the Champions League. Go for FA Cup. Those should be two competitions that we not only win or not only compete in, two competitions that we actively put effort to win. Agree on that. A draw in the Villa and Chelsea game would suit us. I know. I get that. That would certainly do us well, because then we could put more space between us and Chelsea, and we can actually absolutely put a little bit more space between us and or not us, but we would actually, if that were to happen, we would take over fourth place with a win. That is, with a win against Wolves and a Villa draw against Chelsea, you'd see Chelsea have 46 points. We'd move to 51. Oh, absolutely. No, you know what? And Villa would have 52. So we'd be 1 point still behind them. We'd be only a point behind them. We're now 3 points behind them. I'd rather see them draw. I always say when it comes to teams that we have, like yesterday, Chelsea, Arsenal, do I want to see Arsenal lose? Absolutely. I want to see Chelsea lose. Absolutely. But the closest thing to that is them getting a draw. Give them a point. As long as they drop 2 points, I'm cool with that when it comes to our competition or our rivals or oppositions. Let's see. We should prioritize finishing in a Champions League position over winning the FA Cup, in Tom's opinion. United have a definite significant goal differential against us. Or, no, wait, excuse me. I meant Manchester City and Arsenal do. But if you do look at the rest of the league, we're right in the midst of the rest of the league when it comes to goal differential. I don't know. I think that has to go and say where the league is at right now. Arsenal at plus 36, City at plus 32. And then you get the third, fourth, and fifth place, plus 12, plus 8, plus 10. The highest goal differential out of behind Arsenal and City is fifth or sixth place Chelsea with 16 points, or 16. That says something about the league. That certainly says something. Ardo says, would you guys be happy to miss out on top 5 if we win Champions League and FA Cup?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give up on top 5 if it means
I'll finish 10th.
Yeah. I would not care where we ended up in Premier League as long as it wasn't relegation. If we could win a Champions League. Let's see. Our goal differential currently is plus 10, by the way. Our goal differential is plus 10. Villa is plus 8. And Manchester United is plus 12. That's the goal differential. Just reading some of these comments. Let's see. Beating Wolves tomorrow is massive tomorrow because something has to give with Villa versus Chelsea. Yes, it does. There's going to be some type of result that benefits us one way or the other in that Chelsea-Villa game. You're absolutely right about that. I would rather have Wirtz on the left and Sobo at the 10. We will have more balance. Okay. Brown Trisworth says he thinks that Arnie will rotate tomorrow. We'll see. We'll certainly see. I think that game is a evening game, right?
Yeah, quarter past 8.
Yeah.
It's a 8:15 kickoff.
Yeah. It is. Oops. JK, can you hold it down for 1 second?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Can you take
let
over
me
a
know
little
in the
bit?
chat what you guys think. What's the score's gonna be tomorrow? And if you could choose out the 2 games against Wolves, which one would you prefer to win? Me personally, I'd rather take the Premier
Okay.
League.
Okay, cool. Just make sure. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hold it. Take over for like 1 minute. Real quick.
Yeah, that's cool. I just
Okay.
asked in the chat to let me know which game would they rather win. I'd rather win both of them, of course, but if you had to choose one, I reckon the Premier League, because unless we guarantee win the Champions League, we're not guaranteed Champions League next season. So hence why I'd rather win tomorrow than say Friday. But all in all, I just feel Wolves in the last few weeks definitely better. Definitely better. They're sort of, I don't know, man. It's weird. I'm not worried about them, but I could just say they're lively. Against Villa, fair play, man. 2-0 at home. Good result. Yeah, that's the thing, Arto. If you win a Premier League and a Champions League in 2 years at a new club, you can't really sack the guy, can you? There's a few things with that Slot. So his football is not really exciting anyway. I just don't like his man management skills. He doesn't sort of fit that Liverpool criteria as a Liverpool manager. Like today was the first time I seen him in weeks, sort of laughing, smiling. He went through a rough patch, and you're seeing it in his face. So if he wins the Champions League, you can't really say to him, "Listen, lad, nice one, thanks, see you later." You can't really do that. Yeah, Wolves aren't a bad team, definitely, Tom. That's what I was saying. I've watched them a couple of times in the last few weeks, and they look much better. And we can see that Mane as well, the guy we supposedly were after.
All right. We are back. Sorry about that. Had a guest at the front door. Just making sure we were okay. Yeah, we can talk. We can, JK. All right. Real quick prediction for tomorrow. You want to get one out since we didn't get a preview in for this show or for tomorrow?
I will go with a 5-1 win.
Whoa! All right. Wow, that's hold on, let me see if I can get the.
Because Gene said, "Yeah, we can." JK, and I thought, okay, 5-1. 5-1.
There, isn't it?
That's what isn't that how they say it down in Merseyside?
It's up there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's up there, ain't it? Ain't it? Right.
In it.
The score line will be high up there for JK. All right.
And Mac Allister will score 3 in a row. What?
All right.
Yeah.
Hat trick for Mac Allister. All right.
I didn't say that.
Wow. I'm hoping for a clean sheet. I'm going to say 3-0. But I'm hoping we can get a clean sheet at the Wolves.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get a clean sheet. 3-1, Gene Cray is saying. All right. Yeah.
I think Derby was the worst team in the Premier League ever, Tom. I think they got 9 points or something.
I want to be able to go. I want to go to Wolves and say,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
there you go. Hopefully, we can say something like that and keep it moving and get us a W because we need 3 points. So,
I hope Salah scores.
there you go. I didn't say my goal scorers. Okay. I say Agent Cody gets another one. I'll get that clip. I'll say get another one and another one from something like that. And I say Agent Cody gets one. Let's go for our wingers in this game. Finally get a goal, get 2 goals in the same game. And I'll go with let's see. I'll go with an Ibu goal. I'll go with Ibu Konate goal. How about that? 3 goals, 3 different players. Represent. Salah,
I'm
Cody.
going.
Oh, Salah and Cody and Jones. That's actually a good shout. I like that shout.
Okay.
Cujo with a rare goal. Thomas saying Virgil van Dijk or Ibu gets the goal, I guess. Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk for me will score. Salah, hopefully. Mac Allister, Ekitike. And let's go Gakpo. Let's go Gakpo, Ekitike, and Salah will get one each. That'd be cool. I know we're talking big here.
Oh yeah, so you got the whole front line. The whole front line scores basically.
Yeah, I want them to do it. They need to do it. Get the confidence up. We need our front line to be a little bit better. Yeah, just keep, because we want to make them goal difference. We need to keep United goal difference sort of close. We need to keep it close with them and Chelsea.
No, we definitely need to. We need some big scores, and we need clean sheets to keep the goal differential going in the right direction.
But are you confident about this game?
3-0 would suggest I am. I would. It's a weird one because it's such. It depends on how he plays it. I don't know if he's going does he? He's not going to play. I don't think he's going to play 2 strong lineups. The same meaning strong lineup meaning like our preferred starting 11 for both of the games. So it depends on how he goes about rotating and what he envisions will be a path forward. It also doesn't help that we're on the road, but yeah, I'm confident. It sounds like I had to convince myself to be confident, but Thomas Szoboszlai, how about we get this one? How about we get one? Ibu.
Yeah, Van Dijk, top defender.
Ibu, yeah. Top. So yeah. We'll get one and ready for it all.
It's mad. Our game's tomorrow, and then we got another game on Friday, like with the early one on Friday. So it's sort of close as well, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, we are going to end the stream here. We'll do a Reds roll call tomorrow since it is a evening game for us. So we'll certainly hope to see most of you, if not all of you. Bring a friend as well. Bring plenty of friends. It's one come all type situation. So for a Reds roll call for everyone to be a part of it. And I would say this: if you can, certainly pass on this channel to others to join the community here. So, 1 second.
I don't know, Scouse Adam. I just feel he probably play strong teams in both games because FA Cup is the only thing they can really win. And will they survive? I said if Wolves win all their games from now until the end of the season, they've got chances for survival. So I think they might be going all out to get a win. Might work out for us then, It
might. It just might.
Yeah.
We'll see. Please join us tomorrow, though, guys, if you can, for the roll call. We'll do a post-match reaction, too. I'm going to see about trying to get this, trying to get it situated so we can, I can start broadcasting from my supporter pub. Going to still work out some of the angles for that. But we will be back tomorrow. JK, you want to say anything to the people before we let them go? 2.5 hours docket here.
Yeah, for sure. Big up the chat as always. Nice to see some new names in there. Tom, Scouse Adam, Arto, and some Red Armchair always. Gene, great to see you as well. And I got one last thing: set pieces.
Yeah. Until tomorrow, people. What?
That was for Red Armchair. He knows what I'm on about.
Okay. Okay, until tomorrow, people. Definitely big up to everyone. Shout out to the Lante, and shout out to everyone that is. Actually, Nalante is streaming. Nalante is live streaming, I believe, right now. So if you can,
Oh, wicked.
definitely go over, support him, give him a shout, say what's good.
I'll quickly put his
Yeah.
link in the chat quickly. Give me a moment. Okay, 1 second. Nalante, there you go.
There you go. There you go. There you go. He's gonna put it in.
There you go.
Boom. If you can, go and check out this link. If you can, go support. We're gonna as soon as we log off, we're gonna go support and give a like and say what's good to our boy Nalante. But as always, everyone, if you can't, still try to watch on the replay or show your support by just dropping by and give him a like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is going live. He's going live. Apparently, I believe Dara just said he's live now, actually. So, yeah, if you can, give him support. And does anything else I would say, hey, just continue to support every red that you can, because that's the way we should in this community. So appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Big up to each and every one of you. And until then, and as always, up the Reds each and every time. Guys, take care.
Set pieces.
Set piece. Go!